Welcome, people of YouTube. Uh, so we're gonna get onto the topic in about a minute, but I have an announcement to make. Because I've been watching the product and because it's so awful, they gave me an injury. I now have pink eye from watching the product.
He's now joined the ranks of Cena, Cesaro, Tyson Kidd, Hideo Itami.
And Seth
It's
Rollins.
there's more injuries on this ladder than Mortal Kombat.
You can say that again. Hopefully, with the string of my bad luck that I've been having, now is where I podcast and get that all off of my mind. So let's get started. So
Before we start, I just
yeah.
want to make the announcement to one of my good friends. We are now. I wouldn't say this is a sponsorship, more like a partnership with. He goes by the name of Screwcade. I'll leave the name in the description for those who can't, spell Screwcade. It's a really interesting name, good name that he came up with. Nobody would have thought of that. But yes, we are now partnered with Screwcade. So you'll hear his music in the background. You'll hear his music when the video starts. And you'll hear his music when the video ends. So let us know in the you don't need to let us know in the comments. Just follow his channel name in the description if you want to hear more of his music. But yeah, shout out to Screwcade. Back to you, Eddie.
Okay, so let's get started. Do you think that Cena's injury is probably the signal that WWE needs to address this problem now?
Well, let's put it like this. He's injured for what is it, 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 months?
6 to 9.
6 to 9 months. Their ace of the company is injured for 6 to 9 months, and they have nobody to fill his shoes. They're trying to make Roman Reigns fill his shoes, but let's be honest, Roman
He's
Reigns
not
isn't
going
at
over.
that level yet, and he won't be at that level for at least 5 to 6 more years because WWE has a problem, and that is the fact that they have a problem building the next generation of stars.
Right. Now they have no choice but to do it. Here's the problem in which lies now. Because there's so many injuries, WWE can start building more stars, but what happens if they get injured now? We could see Ambrose just barely getting to that main event scene. What if after he wins the WWE title, he comes out with a shoulder injury, just like Cesaro?
No, all the real problem where it all comes down to is the house shows, like the numerous amount of house shows that wrestlers have to do prior to doing another match on Raw, prior to doing another match on Main Event, prior to doing another match on Superstars, and possibly doing another match on NXT when they get called back down to do like a guest match to help build the younger stars of that generation, which is going to take place after the big change of this generation.
Yeah, like I was saying though, but with Cena, is this a signal to WWE that they need to start figuring out a way to prevent this injury problem?
I highly doubt it, hence why Vince has been showing up on Raw a lot more often to basically negate that problem by saying, if we have a big problem, I'll just come down and solve the problem myself by giving myself more screen time.
Oh.
I am Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and I am the ratings.
Yeah. And Byron Saxton has no chance of getting over it, damn it. No chance in hell. That's Vince for you. So what you're saying is they're gonna like give less match time.
What they need to do is not give less match time per se, but less
No. I'm saying what you're saying is what they'll do is that they're giving less match time.
I highly doubt it because these house shows allow the WWE to get more publicity. Because the more shows that they have, the more opportunities for them to create more fans of casual wrestling fans who aren't like actually into the sport yet. They just like casually watch it to see wrestlers from time to time, but they're not going out to like shows every other month. They're not buying the merchandise. They're not subscribed to the WWE network. They're not buying pay-per-views. They're just casually like, oh, let me look at the USA Network to see like an episode of Raw like once a year. Those are the type of people that they're trying to catch.
Okay, that makes sense. Vince wouldn't have that problem if he would just make the product a little better. You know what I mean?
And that's what it all comes down to, because let's say Kevin Dunn, Vince, all the corporate figureheads of the WWE aren't they're not focused on the hardcore wrestling fans that want to see the product get better. They're focused on the fans that come to see Cena get his merchandise, because those are the easiest fans to catch, because they don't care how bad the product is as long as they see the person that they came to see. That's all there is to them. Like, that's all that when it's all said and done, they're satisfied, because they're very simple minded. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, they're making me tune out, and I've been watching this show since all my life, and I've never once had a single complaint.
Yeah,
well, that's not entirely true. Sorry, go on.
Those are the fans that, when you have a really big problem, like say the injuries, like you put the injuries on the table. You say they're not letting the wrestlers, they're not allowing the wrestlers to have enough like free time on their scripts, like free speech, like all those complaints. They'll respond with, if you don't like it, don't watch it, which is true. But if you really want to get a certain fan base to start watching your product again, not watching isn't the best solution to do so.
Yeah. On top of that, how are you going to expect somebody like Roman Reigns to get over if you're not going to listen to the fans that want him to get over? Here's the thing. What I'm trying to say is, if you're going to throw slapstick Roman Reigns and not do what we want, or we want to see a badass Roman Reigns, we don't want to see comedy Roman Reigns.
Well, in the defense of the WWE, they have been doing a pretty good job of bringing over that. Yeah, lately, of the Roman Reigns that we want to see, big destructive monster going around. But we don't want to see him being another Brock Lesnar, because, to be honest, he hasn't done enough to be at that level yet. Like taking 2 F5s, taking 2 bro kicks and kicking out. Like, I want to see monster Roman Reigns, but not like unbeatable Roman Reigns, Cena-style Roman Reigns.
I understand that, but listen, the problem is they haven't been showcasing this Roman Reigns back since the entire majority of 2015. You know what I mean? He barely started getting over.
Well, it's not even just that. The whole problem is they're focusing way too much on Roman Reigns instead of the entire mid-card division that they have at their disposal right now, which more than half of them could be main eventers right now if they gave them more screen time and more mic time.
Right. Do you think a bracket would help, like a group bracket? You know what I mean?
It would actually. Like, the whole World Heavyweight Championship tournament was a good way of building a whole new division of main eventers, but it didn't work because, once again, it focused too much on Roman Reigns, which people knew was going to happen.
In that defense, it did actually help a little bit. I mean, look at Kalisto. If you look at Kalisto, he's now a mid-carder, even though he lost his United States title one day later.
Technically, one day.
Yeah, like a jackass, but he still looked at. He clearly has a fan base going on now because he had that upset over Ryback. And good for them. They have their potential new star, or a potential new star, not the potential new star.
That's the problem of modern day WWE. They always make you think that they're gonna like pull the trigger and give you a brand new star, but once their golden boy comes back, they pull the plug and make you forget who that star even was.
Yep. Look at Dean Ambrose.
Damien Sandow was the biggest example.
Damien Sandow as well.
But since we're talking about Dean Ambrose, or I should call him Roman Reigns cheerleader.
Yeah.
They've been doing. I gotta admit, right now they've been doing a good job with him feuding with Kevin Owens,
and
allowing
thank God. Seriously, he's needed his own singles feud for fuck.
This is the feud that people have been asking for a pretty long time now. Instead of
Yeah,
him coming out supporting Roman Reigns, getting thrown out for Roman Reigns to Superman punch spear.
yeah, and then just to get tossed like a salad.
Yeah,
Now here he is. He's having a singles feud. I swear to God, I've never marked out in a long time. But when Dean Ambrose won that Intercontinental Championship, I was screaming all over the place. Um,
well, I'm a what you call a smart, so I mark out all the time, so I can't relate.
no, but thank WWE for finally doing something with Dean Ambrose.
I
Um,
mean, to be fair, they had something going on with Dean Ambrose back when he was feuding with Luke Harper, wherever God knows what happened with that feud. But
okay,
yeah,
I didn't even know he was feuding with Luke Harper.
yeah, all last year he was feuding with Luke Harper. They had that hardcore match where they went. Well, it was an Extreme Rules match, I believe, where
Are
they
you
were
sure it was
fight.
all last year? It
The
was all
fight,
last year?
yeah, the fight. I wouldn't say all last year, but it was like a good 4 to 5 months long.
Fuck, I didn't.
Where they were just feuding back when Luke Harper had the Intercontinental Championship. And
Oh, you sure
yeah,
that wasn't 2014?
was that 2004? What happened last year?
Because in 2015, Dean Ambrose, and I could tell you chronologically, Dean Ambrose, he did have an Intercontinental feud, but for the WrestleMania moment or the
Let me
WrestleMania ladder match,
see.
and then after that, he did have something where Luke Harper threw him in onto the table, and then he also feuded with Seth Rollins for the WWE title. And then he went back to Roman Reigns' cheerleader, as you described. And here he is feuding with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it was last year.
Really?
It was the beginning of last year around like Extreme
Oh,
Rules.
okay. That's probably why I don't remember it.
Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, that was the start of when they were building Dean Ambrose. But kind of thinking back now, like it's been a year now and he's still feuding with the Intercom, but at least now they're actually going somewhere with it with like Kevin Owens because he can click with Kevin Owens because they both of their gimmicks are almost like similar, like
Very
both
similar.
yeah,
It's like how do you say it? The arsenic and the deranged.
pretty much. Like I'm not saying like Luke Harper can't speak on the mic because I've seen a couple of his work as Brody Lee back in Ring of Honor and
I believe
CZW.
Luke Harper can speak on the mic.
He can if they gave him the opportunity to.
Mhm.
But with his current gimmick, which is supposed to be the silent, like,
Mhm.
um, I'm trying to word it out. It's like sometimes they let him speak, but he's like short spoken,
Mhm.
where he speaks more with his fighting than with his actual talking.
Yeah.
So he keeps his talking to a minimum. So he can't do those paragraph long speeches that Kevin Owens uses
Yeah.
to get into your head. This is why it works more with Kevin Owens than with Dean Ambrose because Kevin Owens, mouths off. Dean Ambrose tries to shut him up.
Yeah, and Dean Ambrose is no slouch on the mic either. So
Yeah.
it's just chemistry made in heaven. Okay, who do you see Roman Reigns dropping the belt to if it's not Brock Lesnar, if
Do
it's
you do
not
you
Cena?
yeah, would you get mad if I say that I believe that the next person gonna drop the belt to is Brock Lesnar?
No, not at all. Personally, I don't want to see Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns again, but I wouldn't get mad. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
out of the new
Well,
generation.
what I believe is going to happen next, which I'll just leave that for the next topic. Um, I'm just gonna say that I don't believe that Roman is gonna face Brock, but I do think that he's gonna end up dropping the belt to Brock, where he'll then reclaim the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at another time when Brock ends up losing the belt.
Uh,
But I don't think Brock versus Roman may happen, but it's not gonna happen anytime before WrestleMania. Like it's gonna happen sometime afterwards, like 2 pay-per-views down the line.
okay. But getting back to my question, out of the new generation.
Yes.
So we're gonna exclude all the Ruthless Aggression superstars. Well, actually, let's include Dolph Ziggler.
Nikki.
Yeah, even though he doesn't have a goddamn chance of winning that WWE title.
Yeah, you can even see
Yeah.
the look in his face. Like he's like, I'm not winning this championship again.
Yeah.
Or ever.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, I think even he realizes it, and he honestly, I think that Dolph Ziggler wants to leave more than anything. I don't understand why he doesn't.
Probably the pay.
Just like what's his face? I was just thinking about him earlier today because he hasn't been on TV for a while.
Nikki.
Who the hell's Nikki?
Dolph Ziggler.
Oh,
Nikki.
yeah, I remember. Mikey, Kenny,
Nikki.
we are the Spirit Squad.
You know, I always had like an idea, like if Dolph Ziggler ever were to leave the WWE, him and his now retired tag team partner, which is Mikey, he went by Mike Mondo in Ring of Honor. Like if Dolph were to leave WWE, like they should come back and they'll be like one of the most dominant tag team wrestlers in the indie division, indie circuit.
Maybe I could see that.
Yeah, Mikey, and we are not the Spirit Squad.
But yeah, so honestly, I think Dolph Ziggler would honestly leave by now. No, but even though he doesn't have a damn chance of winning the WWE title, let's just include him in there. But with the new generation coming from, let's say 2011 and above, who do you see winning that WWE title after Roman Reigns?
It looks to me like either they'll let Roman hold it until Seth Rollins comes back and they'll give the strap back to him, or I can see Dean Ambrose getting it somewhere down the line this year.
Okay, those two don't sound too bad. Do you think the Shield will have a chance of reuniting once Seth Rollins comes back? Because people are speculating that Seth Rollins will come back a face, even though that's not guaranteed. Knowing WWE, that's sure as hell is not guaranteed. Do you see the Shield coming back if Seth Rollins returns as a face?
I can see them reuniting, but I can see them getting screwed over really fast by one of the Shield. If the Shield comes back, it's basically a guarantee that either Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins is going to turn heel the same night that they come back. Yeah. All right, we're back. We had a little problem, but TV tapings, we do what we want when we want, just deal with it and moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the question of injuries. Do you think that another wrestler is gonna end up being injured within the next 3 to 5 months?
It depends on if WWE makes some sort of significant change along the way or not. So if they reduce the number of house shows, then no, probably not. But if all is the same, like the style of wrestling is the same, the house shows are the same, then yeah, of course they're gonna have the same problems.
Yeah, true. And speaking of injuries, there are major rumors floating around. Even though there's always a lot of rumors in the world of pro wrestling, some of them are true, some of them are not. But this one, everybody they're pretty much twiddling their thumbs and fingers if they're fans of WWE, because there's rumors going around that Daniel Bryan is cleared by many medical officials saying that he's cleared to wrestle, but according to WWE's medical officials, they're saying that he's not ready yet. So he's basically asking to be released so he can perform somewhere else where he's medically cleared to wrestle.
Yeah, I heard there was actually some sort of email sent out that he was
Yeah,
getting his release, but that turned out to be untrue.
yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked because if I were Daniel Bryan, I'd be going crazy too. If they're not going to let me compete, why do I want to be there? You know what I mean?
yeah. That's what I'm thinking as well. Like Daniel, as we know, Daniel Bryan is not one of your cookie cutter wrestlers that do it for the money
Yep.
and will stay with the company just because he's getting paid more. Like he will leave if he sees an opportunity.
Yep. He's not like Ezekiel Jackson where he was just off TV and just racking up money.
Yeah, JTG.
JTG as well. You know,
Yeah, like he like how he sees it. Like if I'm not doing what I love, like why am I here?
exactly. And yeah, he's gonna leave. He's gonna go off to another promotion. I wouldn't be shocked by it.
And
Think he's gonna do it? Uh,
if he did do it, where do you think he would go?
New Japan probably.
Yeah, New Japan.
Ring of Honor. That's also like
Well, New Japan has a deal with Ring of Honor, so if he shows up in New Japan, it's almost like certain that you're gonna end up seeing him in Ring of Honor shortly after.
oh, okay. Well then, yeah, New Japan or Ring of Honor or whatever. I don't see him going to TNA.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not sure how he would fit there because with the way TNA does it, like not saying anything bad about it, but like like they have
Well, what? The only way I could see him showing up at TNA is when TNA is on their UK tour, which is like right now,
yeah.
where they're in Glasgow and all those other major cities in the UK where they're in arenas that fit up to 8,000 people. Like I can see Daniel Bryan debuting then in TNA
Oh, okay.
to help them like build their numbers up more in the US. People's like, oh, Daniel Bryan's in TNA. I sure want to watch this now. And like that's the only way I can see him going because from what I've read in one of his articles, he stated that going to TNA would feel like a step down to him, which is something that he doesn't want to do.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
TNA.
Like he doesn't do it for the money, but he doesn't want like a huge pay cut that'll affect his future, like in his retirement and whatnot.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like, to an extent, he still thinks about like his financial status in the world of pro wrestling, but he still like wants to perform for the fans.
Then New Japan's the way to go.
It is.
The only question is, would he get injured there?
Well, the thing with New Japan is they don't have like as many shows frequently as WWE. Pretty much how they're laid out is they have a few house shows a week, and then they'll have a paper. They'll have the main show, which is the pay-per-view at the end of the month. Like that's it. Like that's how they get the wrestlers noticed is by doing house shows and nothing else. They don't have like a Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Like their main shows are their pay-per-views, and that's what they do to get their name out. That's what they do to survive. I wouldn't say WWE should do the same thing because that's what the territories used to do, which is have a bunch of house shows and then have the main show, which is the pay per view. And WWE at this point is way too big for that, so you keep Raw and SmackDown, but cut a few like house shows, like for example, like one day they're in Georgia, the next day they're in New York, and then like a couple of days later they're all the way in India.
they need they need their rest too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All that traveling is heavily fatiguing some of the wrestlers, whether they then got to wrestle the next night on SmackDown or main event or what have you. It's too much.
Do you think? What do you? Who do you think it? What do you think? Okay. Blah, blah, blah. When okay, when Hideo Itami returns, and he's pretty soon to come to be cleared. Who do you think he's gonna like face feud with?
That's a good question because there are a lot of wrestlers in NXT. So I have a feeling that he would feud with Samoa Joe.
I can see that. I can see that.
They could perfectly fit because from what I'm hearing, based on what happened at a house show a few days ago in NXT, like Sami Zayn may not stay, and even though his goal is to become the 2-time NXT champion, he may not be in NXT for much longer unless. Did you see NXT? Did you see the news about what happened at the NXT house show a couple days ago?
No, I haven't.
After Sami Zayn's match, he was confronted by Kevin Owens.
Was he?
Yeah, Kevin Owens came out, received a huge pop, and then he proceeded to talk down on Kevin Owens about how he's at a far higher level than he is right now. So if they decide to carry on this story, which they probably won't, but I hope they do, Sami Zayn will end up eventually following Kevin Owens to the main roster and then feuding with him there, where they'll have a match at WrestleMania. Again, highly doubt this, but a man can dream, right?
Well, we're going to save this for the next episode. But
yeah.
My big prediction for one of the surprise entrants for Royal Rumble is going to be Sami Zayn. So I think he will face Kevin Owens at WrestleMania if Owens versus Lesnar doesn't happen.
But yeah, back to the topic. So that leaves Sami Zayn out for a future feud against Hideo Itami. But the reason why I say Hideo Itami the most is because remember when Finn Balor debuted in a tag team match with Hideo Itami?
Yes, I do.
So they were close friends. Samoa Joe allegedly stated that he was good friends with Finn Balor and took basically in story. We're talking story wise. We're keeping kayfabe and whatnot, like right now. So we're gonna say that Samoa Joe was really good friends with Finn Balor and hated him for the fact that he never gave him a title shot when he said that he would give him a title shot. So he turned on him. Hideo Itami's going to come back furious at Samoa Joe for taking advantage of his friendship with Finn Balor and fighting his honor. That's how I feel how the feud is going to play off when Hideo Itami returns to NXT.
That's a good insight, but I think the one issue that needs to be addressed is, well, who attacked him? Because that still wasn't answered, and I think
probably Samoa Joe. Now that I think about it,
yeah, that's true. That'll probably be the story then.
Unless are they even gonna remember that whole thing when he returns? Like, let's be honest here.
Trust me, there are gonna be a lot of people that are gonna nitpick that to the.
Oh yeah, I forgot. More than half of NXT's fan base is Smarks, so you're probably right.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't you get hit by somebody in the back of the head? Like, aren't you gonna chase after that guy? Like, if it were me, I mean, I'm not me because I'm pretty malnourished and not very physically fit. But I'm gonna say if it were me, I would slaughter that guy with burning rage of 1,000 suns.
So yeah, there's gonna be people who are gonna nitpick that, and Triple H is smarter than Vince, so I don't think they're gonna let us forget it. Even if what's it called? We don't remember it. I think Triple H is still gonna continue with that storyline.
Yeah, that's true. Triple H is a fan of stories that are played through the entire year. Like, he thinks like far ahead in these stories,
And
which is like
storyline.
To me, that's something that's lost in the main roster. Like, most rivalries last about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And when it goes longer than that, the fan base complains, like, why is this feud still going on? And that's why they have to cut it out and switch to another feud, because the casual fan base has really short attention spans, which is something that, they can't help.
I think they need to, maybe learn. I don't want to say learn how to make storylines, because here's the thing, they're not amateurs at it. I just think they need to refresh their storylines a bit. Like, add some simple changes here. Like, take some notes from NXT, see what they're doing, and try something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more topics?
For this particular thing, no, we could probably end it right here.
All right, cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to favorite, like, screw the favorite part. Just like this video,
He's thirsty for likes, everybody.
like nothing, like everything. Just like that's all. That's the only word I can think of right now. Just like this video.
And be careful of the network, everybody. They'll make you pay that extra nickel.
Pay that extra nickel. So discipline your kids and tell them the value of taxes. So they don't get screwed over in the future.
And be sure to be careful of the product. It may give you pink eye, just like I have.
Yeah, everybody getting injured. Happy 2016, everybody. Don't break an ankle.